SCO. Pictures of Prime Minister Modi and Presidents Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping standing shoulder to shoulder, shaking hands, laughing and even huddling. If you are Navarro, that's the nightmare reel for you. Because this is a man who accused India of getting in bed with authoritarians. And the next thing he sees are these images going viral. So he responded with what he does best, a rant. Listen to this.
So, look, Modi's a great leader. But I don't understand why he's getting into bed with Putin and Xi Jinping when he's the leader of the biggest democracy in the world. I would just simply say to the Indian people, please understand what's going on here. You've got Brahmins profiteering at the expense of the Indian people. We need that to stop.
When in doubt, play dirty. Navarro's latest jab was not just about trade or oil, it was dragging caste into the mix, accusing Brahmins of profiteering, all while ordinary Indians suffer. That's not diplomacy or leverage, that's a dog whistle. The idea is to paint India as feudal and corrupt. It's a new low, or another level of absurd, depends on how you see it. Either way, it is not acceptable. This is a man who clearly does not get facts. First, he called Ukraine Modi's war, and now he's playing the caste card on Russian oil. He's trying to lecture the world's largest democracy about its own energy needs. So let's give him some perspective. India is doing the world a favor by buying Russian oil. It is keeping global oil prices stable. Russia supplies nearly 40% of India's crude imports. If India stops buying from Russia, it will buy from elsewhere. And this will put pressure on other oil suppliers. It will drive up prices up to $200 a barrel. So like I said, India is doing the world a favor. And when the war broke out in Ukraine, Washington encouraged India to buy oil from Russia. In fact, India's oil minister has reiterated this in an op-ed. His name is Hardeep Singh Puri. He said India has not broken any rules in buying oil. Let me quote from his piece. Every transaction has used legal shipping and insurance, compliant traders and audited channels. India has not broken rules. So India did not break rules, and India won't stop the purchases because the Americans have changed their mind. In fact, New Delhi is heading in the other direction. Here's what a new report says, that Indian refiners will increase Russian oil purchases in September. They could go up by 10 to 20%, which means another 150 to 300,000 barrels per day. It's coming this month in September, and I'm sure Washington will throw another tantrum. They love lecturing India. But here's what they do not talk about. Europe still buys Russian gas. The US still imports Russian uranium, but it's India that is bankrolling Putin's war. The hypocrisy is glaring. When India buys discounted oil, it is aiding authoritarians. When Europe does it, it is maintaining stability. In fact, Navarro himself admits that the US needs uranium from Russia. If hypocrisy were an energy source, Washington could power the whole of Ukraine. And here's the biggest twist in the tale. Ukraine too buys Russian oil. You heard that right. Navarro may scream that India is a laundromat for Russian oil, but India also happens to be the biggest diesel supplier for Ukraine. We have the numbers again. In July 2024, India supplied just 1.9% of Ukraine's diesel needs. Today, it makes up 15.5% of Ukraine's imports. Kiev runs on it, literally, diesel from India. But try explaining that to Donald Trump or his team. Russia sells crude to India, India refines it, and Ukraine buys it. So is Ukraine too bankrolling Putin's war? Peter Navarro should talk about it, but something tells me he won't. His KRA, or key responsibility area, is just to target India. But guess who is singing a different tune? The US State Department, the US Embassy in India. In the middle of this acrimony, they have launched a charm offensive. A social media post that calls the India-US relationship the defining relationship of the 21st century, complete with hashtags like this. The contrast is comical. One American arm throws punches. The other hands out a friendship band. What do you make of it? Navarro's rhetoric is just a pressure tactic, and a poor one at that. Washington still wants India close, but it will have to make up its mind and mind its words and actions. As Trump's trade war rattles the world, all eyes turn to Tianjin, host of the SCO summit. Prime Minister Modi makes his first visit to China in 7 years. India's policy of multi-alignment faces its biggest test. Will the outreach to China open the door to a new partnership? And will talks with Russia add weight to India's stance against trade wars and tariffs? Catch Vantage live from